6 people, including 3 army officials, die in a freak accident at the Durban Naval Base. Parliament has confirmed Brian Molefe will be sworn in as a Member of Parliament. It's Friday. Hello and welcome to it. You're watching eNews Direct. I'm Duduzile Ramela.
Hi, I'm Kate Nokwe.
To comment on any of our stories, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct.
You can track our main stories using the following hashtags at SNDF and Brian Molefe.
We start with this. An investigation is underway into the deaths of 6 people at a naval base in Durban. This follows a gas leak in an underground sewer pit. The South African National Defence Force has confirmed that 3 of its members were killed, together with 3 public works employees. At least 20 others have been injured.
3 construction workers from the Public Works Department who had been working underground on the naval base sadly succumbed to the gas leak and passed away. 3 other SANDF members then tried to assist them and they tragically passed away following that. Military police and the South African Police Service are now investigating the incident. The naval base is based in an incredibly industrial area. You'll notice behind me a number of factories or rather Transnet's operations taking place near the perimeter of the harbour, and the naval base itself is based on the left of that. It's at the foot of the bluff in Durban and hidden just beyond that, so it's very difficult to spot. We are situated at a point that is considered probably the closest to where the explosion occurred. But even though it is so far away, residents in the surrounding area felt the explosion or tremors from the explosion. And with me now is one of the residents based on the bluff, Ray Oaks. Ray, thank you so much for joining us. Yes. I believe you were at home at the time when the explosion occurred. Tell us what you heard.
Yes, yeah, we were sitting in the lounge and all of a sudden we heard a terrific bang, and then we came out the lounge, things started vibrating in the house, and then when we came out, if you look across there, you'll see that concrete building. The tank just behind it there was set alight. We believe it was one of the workers, an Indian fellow, that actually phoned his wife. And when they did the follow-up, they found out around about that time, they checked with his wife and found out that the phone call did come through around about that time. This is what we hear.
Our members, 3 members of the South African National Defence Force who died, they were trying to help the contract workers who were trapped inside the sewer pit at the naval base. So far, when they got the message that there is something happening there, they rushed there to go and help to rescue the people. And then the only thing is that our members, 2 of our members, they were overcome by the gas.
Parliament has confirmed Brian Molefe will be sworn in as a member. Molefe resigned as Eskom CEO after being implicated in the Public Protector's State of Capture report last year. Last month, the Sunday Times reported that if Molefe becomes an MP, it could pave the way for a cabinet reshuffle. However, the ANC rejected reports that he has been earmarked to replace the finance minister. Parliament is yet to announce the date of the swearing-in. Refugees seeking asylum in South Africa have been thrown a lifeline. President Jacob Zuma has officially opened the Desmond Tutu Refugee Reception Centre in Pretoria. The Home Affairs Department upgraded the centre following complaints from foreign nationals about long queues and corruption.
Maybe somebody tell us about how you guys feel about the refugee centre was once a hotbed of misery for many foreign nationals making their way here. Fleeing their countries to seek refuge in South Africa, they were subjected to long queues and criminal syndicates. Even the president came to see it for himself.
There are people asking for money. We can't get extension. We are sleeping here 2 weeks, 2 days. It's a problem.
But it's out with the old and in with the new. The centre has been renamed after struggle stalwart and human rights advocate Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu.
We welcome the improvements that have been made on this centre. Other key Interventions include the introduction of new systems and processes such as an automated booking system.
And the Home Affairs Department is hoping to deliver a professional service.
The center is now paperless, it's fully automated. A person coming there to apply for asylum will follow a very mainstreamed process.
The department receives over 60,000 refugee applications annually. It says 95% of them are rejected as they are not genuine asylum seekers, but rather economic refugees. Leranzo Temba, Pretoria.
Western Cape Premier Helen Zille used her 10th State of the Province address today to focus on the province's severe water shortage. She says desolation is an option, but it's expensive. Zille also claims the provincial government has assisted in creating hundreds of thousands of jobs since taking over. In a brief show of unity, the ANC and EFF agree that her speech is anti-poor and pro-rich.
Zille's 10th State of the Province address was not without a few glitches. Members of the African National Congress attempted to interrupt her a number of times, but they were soon brought to order.
Could I request the cooperation of the House?
The water issue was top of mind when she did get started. Zille says the province faces a major water shortage in the next 2 years if urgent interventions are not put in place.
Desalination. This sounds an obvious solution, Madam Speaker, but the great challenge is its cost. It would cost a minimum capital amount of 15 billion rand to build a desalination plant for Cape Town.
Then it was on to job creation and economic growth.
Employment has increased by 40% in the agriculture and agri-processing sectors over the past 2 years through the creation of over 127,000 jobs.
But opposition parties were not impressed.
The benefits in this economy, in this province, is still the white companies. And there's nothing that our black entrepreneurs are really benefiting.
The EFF says it's concerned about the plan to tackle the water crisis.
They have built dams in these areas, but are they really monitoring or implementing the dams just in terms of the design of a dam?
Zille says they're working to make the province the investment capital of the country by 2019. Bonga Dlulane, Cape Town.
The University of the Free State locked horns with lobby groups AfriForum and Solidarity in court today over the language of instruction at the institution. Last year, the university decided to offer lectures mainly in English. AfriForum and Solidarity opposed the decision and won the case in the High Court. UFS is now appealing that decision.
Pending the outcome of the appeal, the university is continuing with the pilot implementation of the language policy. It says the old policy is fueling racial division.
Unwittingly, and almost with a sense of horror, a consequence of de facto segregation had emerged. First testified to by the then rector, Professor Fourie, in 2005 already, and documented time and again.
Advocate Johan de Tooy for AfriForum and Solidarity says there is no segregation. But Judge Azar Kachalia isn't convinced.
Do you accept that it has created two streams, predominantly two streams, racially based or not? If it hasn't been established, then the principal justification for the new policy fails, gone. We don't have to go into any fancy discussion.
A date for judgment is yet to be set. Jana Roos, Bloemfontein.
Further afield, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair has called on UK citizens to rise up and change their minds about Brexit. UK Prime Minister Theresa May is expected to trigger the process of leaving the European Union next month. She's indicated a clean break from the bloc is on the cards, including leaving the single market. Blair says leaving the EU poses a threat to the country. And in Spain, a court has cleared Princess Cristina of fraud charges. The princess was one of 18 defendants in the trial that followed an investigation into a charity run by her husband, Inaki Urdagaran. Prosecutors say the organization was used to steal millions of euros in public funds. Her husband, however, was handed a sentence of just over 6 years. Cristina was fined 3.6 million rand. She has maintained her innocence. Well, the ANC Youth League caused some controversy today, calling for Finance Minister Gordhan and his top management to be fired. They say National Treasury has failed in its oversight role at banks and therefore Gordhan should be replaced. Secretary Njabulo Nzuza said financial institutions continue to enjoy protection from the Treasury, which continue to serve the needs of white monopoly capital. And it appears Dineo has not had the expected impact on Limpopo. The province experienced heavy rains on Thursday night but left very little damage. Schools were closed in the Vembe and Mopani districts as a precautionary measure following predictions the areas would experience heavy rains. Provincial government officials have admitted that the rains have not been as harsh as they'd expected. And a reminder, if you've missed any of the stories we're tracking for you tonight, you can of course find us on Twitter and Facebook, that's at eNews Direct, or you can head on over to our website, that's enca.com/direct. Your business news after the break, as well as your weekend weather forecast. Money matters now, and with the 2017 budget speech by the Finance Minister less than a week away, analysts and the public are debating exactly what Pravin Gordhan will announce. Questions remain whether Gordhan will increase personal income tax and the inevitable question of funding higher education.
I think that he should focus on industrialization and funding on higher education. South Africa is rich in raw materials, so I think that if we invest more in industrialization, then most probably our commodity prices will increase, and that will draw even more investment from foreign direct companies. So I think that will help boost economic growth, since we've been in a slow economic growth period for some time now. So I do think that would be a viable option that he can look into. Higher education, because any country that invests in higher education of the youth will end up getting returns in economic growth in the long term, because then we have higher skilled workers in the job market and they go into all the sectors. So then they end up progressing all those sectors, and then we get greater gains in economic growth.
Let's see how the markets perform today. Here's Joel Guy with all your weather details.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Weather Center. Here's what we are seeing on our latest satellite picture. Just a few patches of storm clouds that popped up this afternoon over the western, central and southern parts of the country. But we still have quite a lot of cloud blanketing the northeastern areas thanks to the continually weakening tropical depression, which is now sitting over eastern Botswana but quickly trekking towards the western parts of that country. Now tonight it's going to stay pretty cloudy and stormy over much of Limpopo, parts of the northwest, Gauteng and Mpumalanga. Then on Saturday we're expecting thunderstorms across much of the interior. The storms should be scattered over much of the Eastern Cape, spilling into the western areas of KwaZulu-Natal. Isolated thundershowers for the northeastern areas, maybe giving you a chance to mop up after the tropical cyclone-induced heavy rains. Now, KwaZulu-Natal is going to be mostly sunny for the eastern areas with hot temperatures. Thundershowers are forecast for the western and southern sections. A high of 33 is forecast for Durban. It's going to be pretty unsettled across much of the Eastern Cape. Hot from Tata Parramatta, shooting to around 38, 35 for the high in Port St. John's. We are expecting light rain for the south coast of the Western Cape, thunder showers as we go towards Oudtshoorn and Beaufort West. Cape Town, partly cloudy with a high of around 27. Thunder showers are forecast across much of the Northern Cape, and it's going to stay warm to hot across the bulk of the province. We are going to have unsettled weather persisting over the Free State, Bloemfontein and Forest Smith, hitting the 30-degree mark on Saturday afternoon. Thunderstorms are also forecast across the northwest. Temperatures are going to be a touch cooler here, reaching the mid and upper 20s across much of the province. Isolated thundershowers are forecast across Limpopo, where afternoon temperatures are set to warm up. We are expecting similar weather across the Mpumalanga province. A high of 27 is forecast for Mbombela. Thundershowers will persist for Gauteng, Pretoria, warming to around 28 degrees. It's going to be pretty unsettled across the bulk of South Africa on Sunday. Sunny skies are forecast for Cape Town. It's going to stay sunny on Monday for Cape Town, warming to 29. Thunderstorms continue for the rest of the country.
Thank you, Joel. After the break, we bring you the story of a car guard that's using technology to increase his earning potential. Don't have any change? Well, that excuse won't work on a Durban car guard.
Sabelo Buthelezi has gone high-tech to keep the tips rolling in.
Sabelo Buthelezi is a familiar face on Windermere Road. He's been watching cars here for 2 years. Many of us know the feeling of getting back to your car only to sheepishly realize you don't have any coins for the car guard. But Sabelo has found a unique way around that. He's now using a smartphone-based payment system called Zapper.
The lifestyle we're living in, there's too much technology. You must get used to all the things that are happening. You see, now I said, let me try this section for Zapper, you see, because I can't just carry all the thing for the card, that machine for the card.
Motorists with the application on their cell phones scan his QR code and choose an amount. The money is transferred to Sabelo's bank account. He got the idea from a nearby coffee shop where many patrons use the cashless system.
Often what happens is they get into their car and then they don't have their wallets with them, or they don't have coins because they haven't got change whilst paying for a beverage. So my customers know Sabelo really well, and they often feel bad that they haven't brought any cash in with them. So Sabelo actually approached Zapper.
And this modern method seems to be paying off. The innovative car guard says he receives at least 5 payments a day with his new system. Desan Tathia, Durban.
Very impressive. Here's a reminder of the day's top stories before we say goodbye. 6 people, including 3 army officials, die in a freak accident at the Durban Naval Base. Parliament confirms Brian Molefe will be sworn in as a Member of Parliament.
And in your sports, Augusto Palacios prepares to step down as Orlando Pirates caretaker coach.
And that's a wrap from the eNews Direct team.
Your favorite drama, Rhythm City, is coming up next.
Have a fantastic weekend, and don't forget our weekend edition is at 7 p.m. Bye-bye.